Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to Mills Hill Primary School. Welcome to the first open evening that I've actually done during the day. Welcome to the first open evening that I've actually done without people and that we've done electronically in some way, shape or form. What I always say on these meetings is, well done for coming to have a look around Mills Hill. Well done to come and find a little bit more out about Mills Hill, and I hope you have a profitable time. What I would say is a little bit about me. First of all, I'm the lucky person. I'm Ian Mason. I'm the head teacher here at Mills Hill. I've now been here for possibly 7-8 years, something like that, quite some time. I've been head teacher of a number of other schools, and I've worked for a local authority. And I've spent a lot of time advising other schools on how to do things better in some ways. And what that means is I've been in a lot of primary schools, and I can genuinely say that Mills Hill is truly an amazing place. And you would obviously expect me to say that, but it is. It's full of amazing children. It's full of staff who go the extra mile to make the 6, 7, 8-year learning experience of your children an amazing one. And the children, when they leave us, are incredibly mature, rounded people who will go on to achieve great things in the future. We're absolutely certain. I'm just going to talk about a couple of things and give you a flavour of Mills Hill. And obviously I am available in this strange world that we're in at the moment to be contacted to ask any questions if you've got any. Normally, we would create an opportunity for you to wander around the whole school building with one of my senior members of staff, and there'd be the opportunity to ask them all sorts of difficult questions. Sadly, we can't do that at the moment, but we are still available to answer questions if you've got any. So please, take that opportunity if you feel you need to. Like many schools, we have a mission statement that sort of defines what we are and what we do. And there's some fairly key words and phrases within that mission statement. And we drew it up now probably 6 years ago. And the most popular part when we did it with the whole staff was that school life was safe and fun, because we actually passionately believe that. But there's 4 words, 5 if you count and, which really sum Mills Hill built into that mission statement, because we talk about inquiring minds and caring hearts. Those are the 2 things which are the bedrock on which Mills Hill is built upon, really. We want your children, over the time they spend with us, to develop that inquiring mind, have the ability to question, and as a parent, and I have been there, but as a parent of young children, those continual why questions. But why, Mum? But why, Dad? But why? Which at times become annoying, but actually they're really, really good, because it's that spirit of curiosity. And at the same time, we want our children to have a caring heart, to care for the people that they're with, to care for the world around them, to care for the area in which they live. And I said to our Year 6 children sometime last year, just imagine if everybody left school across the country with a proper caring heart. Just imagine what a happier place the world would be. And we have to hold on to that. And at a time when we are all anxious as to what the future might hold, it's important that we continue to develop that caring heart, to look after people who may be less fortunate than us, but also to consider that not everybody has this life which is perfect and great, and that some people need help and support at different times. So that says a little bit about us. Some other key facts, or relevant facts, I suppose. We are a national teaching school, and have been for a long time, actually. That basically means we're involved in working with other schools to help and support them on their learning journey. National teaching schools will fade out over the next 12-18 months, I think is the plan from the Department for Education. We will, however, still continue to work with other schools to develop their teachers and their leaders, because that's a big part of what we've done the last 8-9 years. We do have excellent standards across the curriculum, across the subjects, across the year groups. I am blessed with an army of phenomenal teachers. We are involved in initial teacher training, and we have again been involved for some time, which means that we typically will train probably 8 teachers a year. Some of those will be based here at Mills Hill, some will be based in other schools that we work with. And actually, we've got probably now 8 or 9 of my teachers are products of our initial teacher training scheme. So they've trained with us. So we knew what we were getting when we employed them. We trained them well because they've turned into amazing teachers. So that's a bonus. Mills Hill's got a reputation for innovative practice, which it's had for many years, going back before I came actually. Mills Hill was one of the first schools in the country to take an approach to learning called Kagan Cooperative Learning, which is where we encourage the children to work in a group, because we believe that when you work together, there are far more advantages than when you work apart. So lots of our learning is structured in groups of 4 children, and our classrooms are organised in sitting children in groups of 4 so they can work together. We've had to tweak around with that a little bit in the current climate, where we are trying not to have as much face-to-face contact with children because of the pandemic. But we are still innovative in our approach. I always mention this, but frankly, I wish I didn't have to. We are currently judged to be outstanding by Ofsted, but you'll know I've put for what it's worth because the inspection goes back years. Up until recently, the government do not re-inspect outstanding schools. Once you become outstanding, you allegedly stay outstanding, which frankly isn't true. So you can read our Ofsted report with pleasure, but it talks about things which are no longer relevant because it's from a long time ago. Do I still think we're really, really good? Absolutely. It's for other people to say we're outstanding, not for me. What goes on in Mills Hill blows me away on a regular basis, and I just get to wander around and see all the amazing things that are happening. There's some fantastic stuff takes place here, and we are the sort of place that I would move heaven and earth to send my children to. And we are growing. Actually, we've probably grown now. We are as big as hopefully we're going to get. 7 years ago, the local authority asked us to expand because they needed more school places, and they were allowed to expand good or outstanding schools. So over that 7-year period, we've grown from a school for about 420 children to a school of about 650. It means we're big, but the one thing we've managed to keep through that expansion is the family feel. And I think that's because of our focus on caring hearts. So we still operate in year groups, which means that you don't suddenly become lost in a huge school. I always talk about results, but actually I'm never overly interested in them. And this is very difficult here because we actually didn't do any tests last year because of the pandemic. School was closed, like all the other schools in the country when it came to test time. So just to give you a flavour, and the test scores have been pretty much the same for the 7-8 years that I've been here, really. But what you've got are Key Stage 1 results there from 2019, and you can see the Mills Hill figures in blue, the national figures in green, and the Oldham average figures in red. And I think it's pretty obvious there across the 3 subjects that we do better both than the national and than the Oldham average. Similarly, at Key Stage 2, on some different measures, again, we're above both national and Oldham averages. What I would say to you, though, is do not choose whichever school you want to send your children to simply based on what the test scores look like. It's not the reason you should choose to send them. You should choose which school you want for your child. If it feels right, if the staff feel right, if you get a bit of a buzz when you wander around, if you get to wander around. Test scores are just one very small indicator, and a lot can happen over time. You know, I could show you some results now, but it doesn't mean they'll be the same in 7 years' time. So if school feels right, then it probably is right. as a parent of 3 girls, when my girls went to school, I wanted 2 things. I wanted them to be happy in everything they did, and I wanted them to do as well as they were able. And if school met those 2 criteria, then I was happy, and thankfully school did. And I think that's what you should ask of schools. How are you going to make my child happy? How are you going to make my child do as well as they possibly can? I've just shared here with you the most recent survey. We've done the same survey of parents every October for the last 7-8 years. And what you've got here is the average results over that period from 2014. And typically now we get responses from 600 parents, because we do it at Parents' Evening, so everybody gets a chance to reply. But you can see that the vast majority of our parents clearly think we do a good job, and that's great that people think that, but it still means we continually try to get better. So that's worth looking at. This slide is a piece of artwork we actually had commissioned, and it's on one of the walls in school, and it was designed to sort of sum Mills Hill up in 4 parts, really. So in no particular order, but the top left is that bit about learning that I spoke about a few minutes ago, about Kagan cooperative learning and how we group the children in groups of 4, how they learn to collaborate. The bottom left is, it links to how we encourage children to develop good behaviour. We use an American system called conscious discipline. Now you've just got to get over the Americanism of some of the language at times, but actually what it really means is we give children a choice. Now, I remember bedtimes with little children, and trying to get them into pajamas and things like that, which was at times a battle, and I've been there. And scream those words like, well, if you don't put your pajamas on, you're not having your iPad for a week. No, a month. No, a year. We've all been there. But actually, what we need to do is to encourage children to have 2 choices, and actually 2 positive. So if I go back to pajamas again, actually, what you say to them is, right, it's bedtime. You can put your pajama top on first, or you can put your pajama bottoms on first. It doesn't matter. You choose. Because what you're doing is giving them the power to make a choice. And frankly, you don't care whether they put the top on or the bottoms on, as long as they put one on and they start the job of going to bed. It's the same in the classroom. We often say to children, you can sit with your arms folded like that, or you can sit with your arms on your knees. What we don't say is fold your arms or else, because sometimes that will provoke confrontation, and that doesn't help you. So we always try to give 2 positive choices. The bottom right corner is really an image to show our curriculum, because there's 2 elements to our curriculum, really. There's the bit that what do we want our children to learn, or what do our children need to learn, which is the national curriculum the government prescribes. But alongside that is, what do we want them to learn? What do we think will be important for them as they progress? And the top right is really about aspiration and what we want for our children. We will continually say to our children, you are the future. You are the people that are going to be in charge of society as I'm older and greyer. You are the people that will make decisions as to what the world's like and to what society's like. And actually, each and every one of them will have their own particular skills and talents and abilities. And so often around school, they'll see images like, you can be a scientist, you can be a writer. In fact, it's the first thing you'll see on the wall as you walk into the main building, because it's right behind the foyer desk. And we will continue to remind children, let's think about what you want to be, and learn and develop what sort of skills you might need to become that person. A phrase often said in school is to be the best version of you can be. Not the best version of me, but the best version of you. We have got lots of information on our school website, millshill.oldham.sch.uk, and lots of that information is on the Our School tab or the Our Learners tab. Now, just something you might want to consider, because obviously you're not going to go on a wander around school because you're not here, but actually I think on the Our School tab, there is a little bit about Meet the Teacher. And on the Meet the Teacher part, there's a couple of video clips from the reception teachers reading stories to children. But also I think there's a couple of sort of video PowerPoints of the respective classrooms. So you will get a flavour of what the classrooms look like. It's certainly in reception. If you follow those links, we've deliberately kept them live. We put them together for this year's reception when they came for the meeting in June before starting a couple of weeks ago. Equally on the webpage, there's a message from me, and in that message I talk about, you know, there'll be many hurdles on your child's journey, and sometimes, you know, we will lead from the front and almost screaming and kicking on that journey. Sometimes we'll push from the back, encouraging and cajoling, and sometimes we'll be in the middle again, offering words of encouragement and helping them over hurdles as they approach them. And that's a quote from that letter. You know, some children sometimes will need support, sometimes some children need a bit of a shout and a bit of encouragement. It varies, and we'll choose the right one at the right time. 6 years ago, I spoke to the children and the staff about which famous person, which star will you outshine? And we came up with that list of celebrities. And so the challenge to children was, which one of you is going to be the next Picasso, or the next Mozart, or the next Bill Gates? And we deliberately chose on there some people from Oldham. So, for example, David Platt, the footballer, is from Oldham. Deirdre Boylow in the bottom corner is from Oldham. Mark Owen from Take That is also from Oldham. We wanted to make the point that actually Oldham people can be famous too. Famous people don't just come from somewhere else. And we stuck with that for probably 4 years before we evolved it into 25 Oldham stars with the challenge of, will you be next? Because what we're actually saying to children is, in another 25 years, the next lucky head teacher of Mills Hill Primary School, which one of my current children will he have on there as someone from Oldham, as someone, an ex-Mills Hill pupil who's gone on to achieve great things? Which one will he put on? And we have actually got 3 ex-Mills Hill pupils on that list of famous people, some of which you'll know, some of which you won't. But we've got Daniel from Coronation Street who came here. We've got Mark Robbins, a Manchester United footballer, Norwich footballer, manager of a couple of famous football clubs, who also came here. And in the top right-hand corner, as I'm looking at it, we've got Gina Brierley, who is in America as a basketball player. Has gone on to represent her country. And she actually came back to school probably 3 years ago to give her Year 6 teacher her England basketball shirt, because her teacher encouraged her to pursue her dreams. So that's the message to our children. You know, go and be someone. Go and be the next Oldham star. Go and be a Mills Hill star of the future. We continually go on and on and on about that message. And again, built onto having a plan as to what you want to be. This is one of our older children from a couple of years ago. And we did some work about what do you want to be when you're older. And she wanted to be a graphic design artist. So one of the tasks we did was to go away and produce a piece of home learning about what you wanted to be. And so she came up with this idea of having an art palette to show that she wanted to be a graphic artist. And each one of those splodges of paint you won't be able to read. I think I've zoomed in actually. But has got a step on the journey. So design new models daily to attract customers. One of them was go and consult a bank to work out finances. Another one was to survey other shops nearby to see what they do and presumably undercut them on price. So, you know, it's a great activity. She may never become a graphic design artist, but the skills in identifying what she might need will serve her in good stead for whatever career she eventually succeeds in, and she will succeed. We firmly believe that success is a journey and not a destination. This is a school which will continually strive to be better today than we were yesterday. This is a school whereby we encourage children to be better today than they were yesterday. You don't make it. At no point in life do you suddenly go, I've made it, I can put my feet up and do nothing, because actually we should always be striving to be better. Thank you for considering Mills Hill for your children for a 7 or 8 year journey, depending whether they come to nursery or not. I must say that if you do come to our nursery, it doesn't guarantee a place in reception. You've still got to apply to the local authority to get a place in reception class. But every journey begins with a single step. And I genuinely hope that that first single step you take is to come with your child to Mills Hill and start here next September. I absolutely hope that we're at least back in something like normality and I can talk to people rather than talking to screens, because this isn't really what I'm about, talking to a screen. And I'm going to finish with this quote, which is from one of our parents on the parent questionnaire. Yes, they answer those questions I showed at the beginning, but they also have a chance to come up with some free comments about school. And this parent said that Mills Hill's a great place for young people to grow into themselves. And we love that quote, because actually it is what we try to do. When we try to challenge children to be the best version of them they can be, that's what we're trying to do. I'm sorry that I can't now send you off around school to go and have a look and see how great it looks. Hopefully at some point in the future, we will be able to do guided tours and little whiz rounds. But hopefully you'll be able to look at the website and some of the clips on the website and get a feel for what school's like. Thank you for listening. Apologies that it's been, you're looking at a screen. I do hope to meet you in person at some stage. Thank you very much.